Well, hello there, my friends. Rafi here from the End Game Investor, and this is going to be the final silver report in this series that you've been watching every Friday on Arcadia Economics. And so I wanted to spend a minute or two just thanking Chris and Yara for everything they have done for me and for my family. Just wanted to get into a little bit of history. Chris contacted me totally out of the blue sometime in 2021 when the situation over here in Israel, at least domestically, was very intense. It was the depth of medical tyranny. I had just started out the Endgame Investor. My economic and financial life was being turned upside down. My wife was in the process of being fired for not submitting to medical tyranny, and my business was only just starting to get off the ground. So we weren't sure if we were going to be able to withstand the pressure, the social pressure, the economic pressure, and the political pressure of doing something to our bodies that we did not want to do. A few days later, Chris had called me and offered to give me a show on his channel called The Silver Report, and it worked out fantastically. I enjoyed every episode that I recorded. I was able to put my own personality into it. Chris helped me with marketing ideas. And that really helped get me off the ground and into the gold and silver space as a name. And I have Chris and Yar to thank for that directly. And I thank them forever for it. The second thing I wanted to say is that in Jewish tradition, there are a list of questions that one is asked when you die. And what are those questions? We're not going to go through the whole list, but the first question that is asked of someone when he dies and meets God is not, did you believe in God? It's not, were you religious? It's not, did you do this or that ritual? It is, rather, were you honest in business? And speaking from personal experience, though Chris could theoretically be a Mexican drug lord since he did live in Mexico and I don't really know all of his business, but from my personal experience, every business transaction that we had between us was completely honest, above board. Everything that was promised was delivered. And if any of you are thinking about doing business with Chris and Yara, I would recommend it. It was very easy, straightforward, and honest with no surprises. It sounds pretty simple, but in today's world, it definitely is not. It's something to be cherished, something to be sought after, and something to praise. And finally, you may be wondering why we have mutually decided to end this show on this channel. I would like to go in my own direction. Chris would like to go in his own direction, and you'll see the different directions that he goes into in the weeks and months ahead. I'm going to be moving this series to my channel on YouTube, which you can find easily with my name, Rafi Farber. Chris and I will continue to work together on common interests, which include gold and silver. I do believe within the next few weeks, maybe just 2 or 3 months, there's going to be a serious problem in the back end of the monetary system, and that could change things very rapidly. We are in a very unstable world, and though I am going my own way to develop my own assets, we will continue to be on the same page and to fight for sound money in the world and on the moon once silver gets there. I'd like to thank all of you who have watched the Silver Report over the last few years. Thank you all. You've made my life a lot more fun and meaningful than it would have otherwise been, and I will continue to make these reports on my channel, perhaps with a few more memes than I usually put on this one. This is Rafi, the Endgame Investor, with this week's final Silver Report for Arcadia Economics, and I'll see you guys next week.